Hi, welcome to India Food Network. I'm Asha Khatau. Today I want to show you a very popular Indian bread come all-time favorite snack anytime with your tea, with in-between time or whenever you like to have it, and this popular bread is called Methina Thepla. If you like to know the recipe, keep watching. To make Methina Thepla, you require 1 cup of whole wheat flour which is already sieved, 1 tablespoon of besan, that is gram flour, half a cup of freshly chopped fenugreek, that is methi leaves, 1 tablespoon of jaggery finely chopped, 1 tablespoon of ginger and chilli paste, a quarter cup of yogurt, it can be sour or it can be fresh. And for the spices, we require half a teaspoon each of turmeric powder, coriander powder, cumin powder and 1 teaspoon of red chilli powder. Of course, salt to taste and 1 tablespoon of oil to put in the dough and little water if it is required to bind the dough. Now that we have all the ingredients ready here, we are going to start making the dough for the thepla. First, we require besan, that is the gram flour, to be mixed with the whole wheat flour, and going to mix it lightly. Then I want to add little salt. In the dry ingredients, if you add the salt and then mix it well, it gets mixed up and gets divided evenly, which is why I like to add the salt first. And then I like to make a well in the center and add a little bit of the oil, approximately 1 tablespoon should be enough, and drop all the flour over this and then further mix it. Then we add the fenugreek leaves, half cup freshly chopped, and toss that into this as well. Because the methi leaves, the fenugreek leaves is little bitter, I like to add a little bit of sweetness to this, and what I would like to add is the jaggery rather than adding sugar, because it is tastier and the healthier option to the sweetness. Rub that in as well. As you can see, the jaggery is little hard to get mixed up with the dry ingredients, so you need to actually rub it in nicely. After this, I will add some dry spices, which is turmeric, coriander powder, the cumin powder, and nice and spicy red chilli powder, and ginger and chilli paste 1 tablespoon. Once again, I like to mix all these spices so that they get distributed evenly in the flour before I start adding the liquid ingredient, which is the yogurt, and maybe water if the need be. After adding the curd, I would like to tell you one thing, that you mix all the ingredients with both your hands really well, and this way you will be able to judge how much water is required to make a semi-soft kind of a dough. It shouldn't be too stiff, it shouldn't be too soft. So here, as you can see, the dough is almost ready, except it requires 1 to 2 tablespoons of water, which I am going to add now. And I think I am feeling the dough still a little bit stiff, so I may want to add like half a tablespoon to 1 tablespoon more, and I think that's it. We are making this thepla, as you saw, with the freshly chopped fenugreek leaves, that is methi. I would like to give you here some alternatives. In place of methi, sometimes I like to take one medium sized onion which is finely grated to make kanda na thepla. And also you can have the same thing with spinach, which is palak na thepla, and also with bottle gourd grated, which is dudhi na thepla. These are a few ingredients which are very popular, and you can do everything else the same way. The spices to the flour to the yogurt to the water, everything the same, but just the vegetable part you can change it to your liking. Now that the dough is ready, we are going to start rolling our thepla. You know, sometimes the dough can get little bit sticky. In that case, you need to knead that dough with little bit of dry flour, so that you are able to manage it without the dough sticking to your hand. And this we are going to divide into 6 to 8 portions, and we are going to roll one by one, and after which we are going to cook it on the griddle with little bit of oil. You can divide the dough into small or big sizes depending on what is the size of thepla that you need. You can do it anywhere between 5 inches to 6 inches, and you roll it not very thin and not too fat either. Now that we have got our thepla rolled and ready, let's cook it on this hot griddle. Usually we cook it with just a little bit of oil, so that the bread itself does not become too dry. I like to do this in non-stick, but if you have the pan which is used usually to make the chapati, that is also fine. So just coat it very lightly with oil at the bottom and just couple of drops of oil on top. So both sides of the bread is cooked nicely. One more thing about thepla is that when we are traveling, we usually like to carry some Indian snack or some stuff with us, because in case we are stuck somewhere and you feel hungry, this is a very good snack to have it. So if you make it this way, the way we are doing, you can actually keep it outside the fridge for almost 8 to 10 days. So it's a very nice and simple travel food as well. I usually like to cook this on a medium flame, so it gets cooked nice and golden. At the same time, it gets cooked through and through from inside. If you do it on a very fast flame, then it will get golden quite alright, but inside will still remain uncooked, and that's not nice at all. You have to cook this thepla on both sides, and I like to do it on a medium flame so that it gets golden quite alright, but also gets cooked from inside. If you did it on a very high flame, what happens is that it gets cooked from outside, inside will still remain uncooked, and that's really not so nice. So here we are done, and it's very important to press the bread with a flat spoon like this, so making sure that it gets cooked from inside through and through. So this was our very simple recipe of Methina thepla. I'm sure you all would like to try this out. This thepla is best had with Indian pickle, little spicy, little more sweet actually, which is called chundo. And thepla and chundo is like all-time favorite food amongst many people here in our country, and I'm sure you are going to like it. If you like to know the recipe, please subscribe to India Food Network and remember to send us the feedback.